So I saw something online. I hate the word fatigue, by the way, and Stevie said it too. I hate this superhero fatigue thing. And for a while, I hated people saying this. I was like, I don't think it's real. I just don't think the movies are good. And then I saw something the other day that was really interesting. So there's this company called Parrot Analytics, and they do like a lot of in-depth reporting on trends based on social media. And they were saying that a lot of the talk around Marvel and Star Wars took a major dip over the past year. And I know for us and for everyone watching this, you're obviously passionate like we are. So we probably live in that bubble online where everyone's always talking about it. But I do think that this company knows what they're doing. And I forget who they sent the report to, but it was someone like James Gunn, like someone like a top person like that. So they're definitely legit. And I think that it makes every decision that Star Wars and Marvel make more important than it ever has been. You can't be doing things like having America Chavez sideline Doctor Strange or having Pedro Pascal have a mustache when he's Reed Richards. You know, I just think that the mustache thing is such like when they announced Pedro Pascal, there were a lot of people that were happy about it for Reed Richards. And then there were a lot of people who were like, well, he looks nothing like Reed Richards. For context, I said, I don't like him as Reed Richards, but I really like him as an actor. So I'm going to reserve most of my judgment for when the movie comes out, because I do think that he's going to win me over because he's such a talented actor. But there are a lot of people that still say, well, he's Hispanic and he doesn't really look like Reed Richards, and Reed Richards isn't Hispanic. I don't care that he's Hispanic. If he's Hispanic and he looks the part, that's fine. But he doesn't, and it makes me wonder, why won't they just shave the mustache? It literally can be done in 2 seconds, and I just don't understand when they're in. It's such an important movie for them, and I just don't get why it's acceptable that he has the mustache when it's the easiest fix in the world. I mean, it is so easy, and it just makes me think that, like, I don't know. It seems almost like it's cocky. Like, oh, we have Pedro Pascal. We're Marvel. We're all right, bro. That's kind of the vibe I get from it.
Yeah. So I really don't care about the stash, but as a costume connoisseur, I understand how you feel, because if the Fantastic Four costume doesn't look good, you'll hear me saying the same thing as you. You know what I mean? So I understand.
Yeah.
Where you're coming from. Like, you know, hopefully the hope is that his acting can wash away his sins. That's the hope. Now I do want to talk about the whole. Sorry, go ahead,
The
bro.
mustache isn't just his sin, though. It's his sin and it's Kevin Feige's sin. And, you know, it is interesting that it doesn't bother you because you're like very detailed down to what was it? I forget which Spider-Man met. It was the eyes on.
Oh yeah, the eyes drove me crazy.
The TASM 2 eyes. So
Yeah.
it's like it's that bothers you, but this doesn't. I kind of find
So
that interesting.
the reason why the mustache doesn't really bother me is because it's not like it's not a stash that Pedro would actually rock in real life. You know, because I remember when they released the Fantastic Four art last year, where it was really just like Last of Us Pedro face photoshopped onto a body, and I thought that was nasty. But like when I see his hair slicked back with the gray and the stash, it's a 60s style stash. You know, but then I see what people say when they say it looks very Howard Stark-esque. So like I understand that, you know, point of view, but it just doesn't bother me because it fits the 60s vibe. But I also am not going to cape like a lot of these fans and use comics, because you got to understand, Reed only had a beard. He never had a stash in comics. So like whenever Reed has facial hair, it's a full beard, not a stash. So don't try to use comics to justify what you like. If you like it, but like me, like it just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But as I said, I understand where you're coming from. It just doesn't bother me because it fits the 60s style film that they're trying to, you know, go for.
I hate when people are like, and with the costume, it's a little different. But like when people are like, "Oh, Shuri was Black Panther in the comic," she was Black Panther for like 2 comics, bro. Okay, T'Challa.
Yeah.
When people say Black Panther, they think T'Challa. All right, and it's at some point like you got to go with what's traditional and what people are attached to, and that's really what it's about. Actually, I'm going to do a video on this, but I shouldn't have just said that, but whatever. James Gunn, I'm going to read it because he posted something about comic accuracy that was really interesting, and it's pretty much like word for word, like what I would say.
Okay, let me
So,
hear it.
so someone wrote, and he wrote this in response. I don't. Someone wrote on Threads. I think comic accurate means in current canon. So for Wonder Woman, being comic accurate equals clay origin. Her being a queer feminist symbol of peace who always avoids. I know Threads. That's what you get. But anyway, James Gunn responded, and I the rest of it's cut off from the screenshot. I don't have what the rest of that person wrote. But James Gunn wrote, I don't think it means in current canon, as all of these characters have their up years and down years and not always at the same time. I don't think current readers should be weighted 100% and lifelong readers weighted 0%. Things evolve. Also, the DCU is a different universe than DC Comics, just as Black Label is different from mainstream continuity. Comics accurate, to me, means staying true to the nature of the character, which is obviously subjective. So every adapter can only do his or her best, which I think is fair. It's you can't say, oh, you stopped reading comics and you haven't read this one 2024 run. Sucks. We're not going to honor what you know as the character.
Yeah.
And that's why you got to go with the traditional. Like, you can't just be like, oh, well, there's one obscure comic, Batman 792, Batman, didn't have a cape. Like, everyone knows Batman has a cape, okay? If you find one comic where Batman doesn't have a cape, you don't make a movie Batman without a cape. So if that's your argument to defend something, it's fucking stupid, okay?
Yeah. I just think that the gray streaks are more iconic than no stash. That's just kind of where I'm at, though. Like, I think that like everybody knows Reed for the gray streaks in his hair.
But the biggest problem I have with the stash is the fact that it's so easy to fix. Like, at what point is it like?
Yeah, but they don't see it as a problem, bro.
That's a problem. That's a problem, especially when so much is on the line. Like, they've made so many wrong decisions since post Endgame, and like something like this is easy. It's like, if you have an open shot on the court and you're not missing it, like that's a problem.
Yeah, but I think that like I just think that like Marvel, like I think that in this case, like the mustache is like a minority thing. Like I think that like what they're probably worried about more is Reed Richards landing the character, and I do think that you are right.
When you say minority, you mean like Hispanic?
No. I think that like the mustache complaint is more in the minority because I think they're more worried about landing the character. But I do think you are right though when you said that like the attitude with Pedro Pascal is like we have Pedro, so like we don't have to like make it as detailed. Even though I think it's more. I'm actually shocked at how detailed they were. I thought it was gonna be way less editing for Pedro. Like he looked really clean, shaved in that. I was shocked, but I think that for them they just care about different things, and so I mean, yeah,
I think they could care about it all. Like I said, it's such an easy fix that like you shave it, it takes 2 seconds, and you never think about it again.
Yeah, but like. As I said, I just don't think that's going to ruin the film, but I understand where you're coming from because if the costume is like not good, like that ruins the movie for me. So I get it. But I did want to talk about fatigue though, because I do feel like Marvel and Star Wars are two different situations.
Yeah.
When it comes to fatigue, because I think that for Marvel, they are fatigued themselves, not really the fans. And I feel like with Star Wars, the fans got fatigued because of the trash lore. Excuse me, and them not caring about continuity at all. And I really think that like for Marvel fans, like we have shown up to theaters for these films. The only movie that we didn't really show up for really is the Marvel's, which bombed significantly. But I do think that one of the things that is going to hurt the MCU, bro, in terms of fatigue, is them zooming by important comic book stories so fast. So you might hate me, or you might be mad at me, but you talked about Civil War so much that I read them all. Oh, like a few days ago.
The whole event, or just the Civil War, like 6 or 8 comics?
I read the 6 or 8 Civil War comics. I kind of skipped a little bit because you just kept talking about it, and I'm like, I have to read it. So
did you not finish the Hickman saga?
I'm almost done, but I had to go to Civil War because you kept talking about it. But anyways, so no, you kept talking about it, and then
I gotta stop talking about comics to you.
No,
You're
it's all good.
Behind that, like I'm throwing you off.
It's all good. No. I'm actually happy I read it because Civil War is like top 3 all time.
I told you. Bro,
but
if I say something is that good, it's that good.
Yeah, and now after reading it, I'm kind of pissed that it got shoved into one movie. And what I think could help with fatigue in regards to the MCU is like, imagine if we got a Civil War phase, you know, like imagine if we got a phase of Civil War. And so going into the future, like if you do Avengers versus X-Men, you got to make that a phase. Don't just cram all of that story into one movie. Like there's enough in the comic book run of
Civil War,
Avengers versus X-Men to stretch it, you know, to be in front of. I wouldn't even mind if they did Civil War again. Like I wouldn't be against it because I mean they didn't really touch. I mean, bro, the Heroes for Hire, bro. Like what the frick? Like that's all. Like never even got touched, bro. You know, so that's what I think could help with them is prolonging those
that library or school or whatever it was. And here's the other thing that like if you don't read comics, you have to understand these crossover events. So the whole Civil War event was like 100 comics total, or give or take. And there are Spider-Man Civil War comics. There's Black Widow Civil War comics. So each character has like their own story within the event. There's like, you know, there's probably like 10 Spider-Man Civil War comics. So you could do a Spider-Man movie within the Civil War saga and pull it all from the comics. It's all there. Spider-Man has a whole story carved out within, and so do all the other big characters. So, and some of the smaller ones too. So you could totally do something like that. And by the way, back to the multiversal saga, that's what they should have done for Secret Wars. Once they knew they were doing Secret Wars, they should have just done the Avengers, Hickman stuff. They should have pulled from that. It's the greatest comic of all time. And instead, we're getting movies like Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is the closest thing we have to the Hickman saga. And that's how crazy it is, okay? Because that movie sucks. And they got to stop laundering in these characters. And it's just crazy because there's so much good stuff to pull from with where Marvel is right now in the story. And like, how many good movies do we even have in the multiversal saga? I can only think of 2. Spider-Man, No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Shang-Chi, No Way Home. And Deadpool and Wolverine. There's 3.
Yeah.
And then the shows are an abomination.
Yeah, WandaVision, great show. What else is good?
I disagree on WandaVision, but whatever.
Not a great show. That's crazy.
A lot of people are split on that. That's not uncommon. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't like it. You know,
not on my side of fandom.
Oh, I see people hating on it all the time. But whatever. I don't even care that much to argue it.
Yeah. Like, what else? Great show. Oh, Hawkeye. Hawkeye's not bad, but it's not like
it's not like amazing. What was the other?
Moon Knight was fire.
Moon Knight was fire. A lot of people didn't like it though.
Yeah, true. Moon Knight was hard.
The other one that I really I'm starting to have an issue with is What If. So I think What If is a cool concept. I liked What If. I like season 1 more than season 2, but whatever. The issue I'm gonna have is if What If season 3 ends and it has no like implications or impact to the greater MCU, I'm gonna have a problem.
Yeah, because I know they're having Storm, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, and with Star Wars, bro, Star Wars is just they have dug their own hole. So
Yeah, you
There's
people.
no like, bro. Star Wars fans want to show up to theaters and watch Star Wars. Like, there's no, it like the fans are fatigued of trash content. That's what fans are fatigued of.
Yeah. By the way, if you want to get a laugh, check out my recent post on Threads, my most recent one. I criticized the whole America Chavez, Doctor Strange thing, and I had one person in the comments who was so rude. It's like it's crazy. You can't even criticize a movie without people throwing a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. America Chavez was they just gassed her so much, bro. They made like, well, I'm not even gonna go down that